excited to be here.
And this isn't your first time in Hong Kong, right?
No, it's my second time. I was here a few years ago on just really a pleasure with my father. I spent a week here.
But this time you come with you have a team of 7 and you brought a lot of your ingredients along with you.
We did. And, this is our first promotion in Hong Kong, and actually the first promotion ever done that we've been able to bring our own ingredients, or a good part of our own ingredients. So very, very exciting to have ingredients that we work with at home, bringing here to Hong Kong, and so that our guests can experience those same ingredients.
One thing that we emphasize in your tasting menu is that you don't repeat ingredients.
Yes.
And you also have a very strong emphasis. I've read a lot about your suppliers, and there's always a story to your suppliers. Very small suppliers, but they're the ones who are particular about raising their cows. You get special butter because they're very small.
Right.
And can you tell us that's not very common in Asia to have very artisan producers, and I guess that's important why. And you could source ingredients from here, but you chose to bring them. Can you tell us a little bit about what's so important about this producers?
Well, there's several things that are important. Number one is the quality of their ingredients. The quality of their ingredients is a direct relation to who they are, and the integrity of those individuals, the integrity of their animals or their gardens or their foraging or the fishermen, for example. And the wonderful thing about working with some small producers is that it gives you the opportunity to really create a relationship with them. People like Keith Martin or Diane St. Clair, Ingrid Benjes, all of these who I've known for sometimes for decades. And it's really that relationship that I truly feel I'm blessed to have. Is with people who have the same goals that I have about what they're doing, is to really do the best that they possibly can. And for us to be able to showcase what they do is really extraordinary. I think for me, to work with Diane St. Clair's butter really is a blessing. I feel really honored to know that here's a woman who gets up every day, 7 days a week at 5 a.m. to milk her cows, and then comes in again in the afternoon. She doesn't get a day off. The cows don't take a day off from producing milk, and she's very dedicated to her cows in a way that she makes her butter. And of course, we are the outlet for that butter. And when I think about what this term celebrity is, I think they are true celebrities. It's all when you think about cooking, it's a very simple equation, regardless of the level of cooking that you're doing, and that equation is ingredients and execution. Mm-hmm. And the ingredients are easily defined. They're the products that we get from our farmers, our fishermen, our gardeners, our livestock farms, and of course, execution has a lot of different things involved. Whether it's the skill of the chef, the environment they're working, the tools they have. So execution is a little more complicated. But it really begins with the ingredients. Not a whole lot. I mean, our food in Napa Valley, as well as per se, is probably based on French classic cuisine. Mm-hmm. Of course, we interpret it somewhat differently today than they interpreted it back in classic times. But it's because we have the ability. We have more refined. We have better tools. Certainly have better ingredients today than they had years ago. But it's also based on where we are and who we are and why people come to see us. We're in Napa Valley, which is America's premier wine growing region. And people are coming there to drink the wines. And so we have to make sure that the food that we're serving is somewhat compatible with the wines that they want to drink. That whole experience. We're talking about the total guest experience. That total guest experience is not just about the food. It's about the service. It's about the environment, and certainly about the wine program that we have.
So in this case, since you're bringing this to Asia, did you tailor fit it to the Asian diet? Did you make changes in the menu to make it probably more suitable for the Asian market? Or
no, we're doing food that we're representing the food that we would do at home.
Suit your food.
Well, the benchmark for wine has always been France. Of course now Italy's come up, and certainly Spain. But those wines, we think about the wines, we think about the fruit, we think about the quality of the fruit, we think about whether it's aged in oak or whether it's fermented in stainless steel. We think about food as a structurally associates with those. Champagne, for example, how well and traditionally it blends with caviar and oysters. So if we take that oyster and pearl dish that we do, I think that's a total guest experience because it's about luxury. It's an introduction to the menu, the beginning of the menu. It really pairs really well with champagne, and that's a total experience. And that's what we're trying to establish for our guests is those total experiences with wine and food.
Great. There's also playfulness. I like how you give such fun and playful names to your food, like coffee and donuts and M&Ms, and you brought oyster and pearls here for this menu. That's always a concept that you.
Oh, I think it's important. You know, it's fun for us to relate to foods that we do as children. You know, coffee and donuts, not necessarily a child's dish, but you know, macaroni and cheese. You know, certainly M&Ms and things like that. And it's really a kind of a playful way to bring in someone's mind an emotional connection to food that they had when they were maybe younger in a different place. And at that same time, it makes that emotional connection with a memory. And we also wanted to find a new memory. Oh wow! So this is a different macaroni and cheese, and I understand it as much as I understand the macaroni and cheese before. So they have different. It's a paradox between what they emotionally connected to from a child to what now they've been able to experience as an
And
adult.
probably something you wouldn't expect from such fine dining.
Right.
You're taken by surprise by that.
Yes.
What?
It's also, you know, when you think about fine dining, it's also fine dining has been typically viewed historically, and not so much anymore, broken through that barrier is intimidating. And we want to try to eliminate that intimidation, try to break down that barrier. And one way to break down that barrier is to be a little playful. You know, the coronet, for example, is a great way to begin the meal because it reminds everybody an ice cream cone and it brings a smile to people's faces. So that immediately breaks the ice of intimidation.
But we also, even if you're board of trustees of CIA and all these serious things, you also are very open-minded. You admit that you're still a big fan of fast food. I mean, you're open to say you still eat it in and out.
I'm not gonna play to the tune that I'm somebody that I'm not. I mean, I enjoy what I enjoy, and I'm certainly willing to express what I enjoy. Yeah, In-N-Out Burger is one of those things that I crave, and I really enjoy it, and I'll always have the opportunity to have one.
There's a big hype coming here to Asia. They're saying this is the most expensive 11-course meal in Hong Kong for the year, or and they always market you as back-to-back Michelin, 3-star Michelin chef. How important are guides to you?
Well, I think guides are important because they bring knowledge to people, individuals. I think that's great. Michelin certainly has given me the great opportunity to be the first American chef ever to have 3 Michelin stars, and certainly the first American chef to have 2 3-star Michelin restaurants. So I feel truly honored because I never really thought about Michelin ever coming to America. 4 or 6 years ago they did, and I have a great team, and I believe we have wonderful restaurants, and to have 1 3 stars right after that is certainly a great honor. So with that said, any guide or any critique or good or bad is about what you did yesterday, and we're more worried about what we're going to do tomorrow than what we did yesterday.
Do you ever see yourself opening up a restaurant in Asia?
Not right now. When I think about what that equation I talked to you about, which is ingredients and execution, it's coming to a country outside of America. I'd have to try to start to source ingredients again, and I built up a great relationship with our suppliers, and I don't know if I'd be able to achieve the same level of quality. And I say that to pure ignorance, but I don't know if it's possible. I'm sure it is, but that was something that I wanted to do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.